And up next, we got Tanner Boser taking on Ilir Latifi. Latifi is 37 years old, 5'10", with a 75-inch reach. The comeback on Boser, he is 29 years old, 6'2", with a 75-inch reach. So they're both going to have the same reach. Man, let's just break down, I guess, Tanner's last couple fights. His last fight, he did lose to Andre Arlovski. I know a lot of people were pissed off because they had him in parlays and whatnot, and he went out there and just kind of stonewalled up, man. He was just staring at Arlovski. He didn't take his chances like he, in his previous fights, like he was doing against Lins and Pessoa. He was just standing back watching him, man. And it was kind of sad to see almost, So that definitely made you reevaluate Boser and take a look back and see what else he can offer, because in the striking department against Arlovski, it was non-existent, and he wasn't shooting for takedowns, nor is that in any of his other game plans. He's just a basic striker. So the comeback on Latifi, we all know what he likes to do, and again, he's just completely outsized, I feel like, in this division. He looked like he was outside in the 205 division. But yeah, he's going to be up against Boser, and Boser is a true heavyweight. The only thing is, I just still feel like Latifi can go out there and grind him out. He is a beast of a man. But I believe his best days are behind him. He's 37 years old. He's looked like shit in every single one of his last fights. So you got to take that into consideration. It's just hard to consider, because if he does get, a couple takedowns only, and I don't see Boser getting up from that shit, so it's kind of hard to say. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, so for me, we'll start with Tanner Bulldozer Boser, 19-7, coming in. Boser, he has good power. I'm more impressed with his footwork and his speed for the division. Also impressed with his mullet. I was one of the guys that lost some money on that Arlovski parlay. I had a lot riding on that one, and that one I was real disappointed. He looks like he was scared to let loose, but he did take the L. Just along with myself, I do think it's going to be a hard fight for Latifi in this one, to get Tanner to the mat and to do what he does best, but. Tanner should take over this fight in the later rounds. And for Latifi, 14-8, the sledgehammer. Latifi's been on a bit of a slide since coming to the heavyweight division. We all know that he has power, but that power was at 205. But now that he's at heavyweight with these bigger guys that are able to match that power, it's just been a little different. He did have a decent fight against Derek Lewis, who's fighting for the belt. He did win a round in that fight. He's getting up there in age now, and I just don't think he has the movement and definitely not the gas tank to keep up with Boser in this fight. They have Boser at -195 and Latifi at +160 on the odds. So I mean, he does have that knockout power for Latifi. He can do it, but I see Boser getting it done, probably by a decision. But I definitely got Boser at -195.
Yeah, I'm hesitant, but I would definitely lean Boser on this one. Yeah, and like you said, -200. So, or my book, so it's -200. So that's a big price tag. But what I do like as well is that over 1.5 -205.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, because I don't see Boser coming out here and getting him out of there in the first round or two. If he does get him out of there, I would think it would be later on, and later on in the second or third round for sure, but not that early. Ilir's pretty solid. He stood in there, like you said, against Derek Lewis and was able to eke it out. So I would definitely look at that over 1.5 spot. I know fucking over and under has been killing me lately. But I do like that one. That does look like a solid spot. And Boser would definitely be the pick, man. Latifi, he's just getting up there, man. I don't want to fade him just because of age, but his performances, let alone, he's Huggy Bear, man. It's all he needs to do, and he's grinding it out, which is good sometimes when you're betting on people, because you know exactly what they're going to come out and do. But that's a lot to ask from Latifi at this point, and especially against these bigger boys. And can he get Boser down? Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. if he gets him down 2 rounds, that shit might be sketchy going into the third if you have Boser. So I'd hate to have that. I mean, shit. And you know, you lose a decision, but
you're right. I mean, that over 1.5 does sound good. I mean, Boser's not the type to come out and start you anyway. He more likes to fill you out and stay bounce around on his feet a lot. If anybody's getting starched early, it would probably be Latifi starching Boser, if anything, hitting him with something hard. But I definitely see this one going the distance. But I think Boser should pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, Boser got 3 first-round knockouts, and they were low level. The first 2 were low level in his first couple fights of his career, and then the more recent one was against Felipe Lins. That was like a year ago, but yeah, Lins is chinny as shit, so I wouldn't put any stock on that. So that's what probably the line makers are thinking. But yeah, man, I like that over 1.5. That's definitely a good spot, and Boser he'd have to be the pick. I'd have to take him as the pick.
All right, we're both on Boser to get the win. Like I said, been a good card so far. As far as matchups, so we're gonna see what the breakdown looks like on the rest of them, and we'll have some. Stay tuned at the end as well for best bets and the live dogs.